You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Shanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow. Manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, sunshines, and welcome to another episode of Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your spiritual tour guide on this journey of life with you, sharing all the things spiritual, mystical, and divine, giving you the real talk. My name is Shanel, and I'm your host too. We are talking about coyote medicine today, and this came up because of my beautiful teacher and the things that she shares from her spirit guide or teacher or grandmother. I have been working with Lori Wilson since, 2012, 13, maybe 2014. It's been a long time. Anyways, at least 10 years I've been working with Lori. I have taken different certifications through her, attended a lot of different workshops and talks she's done. I am incredibly grateful for her knowledge, her wisdom, and her caring heart. She is an incredible soul. And this comes from her monthly focus. It is a subscription I do every year, and grandmother channels 2 messages every month. One is written and one is spoken. And this is the one for February. And I wanted to share a little bit of it with you because the message was really strong. This message came through, and she actually spoke about it in our meeting on Monday. That is a meeting of a group called SOAR. She offers this program once a year. It was incredibly powerful for me. It brought me to a place where a lot of healing could be done. It opened up a lot of doors to be able to bear witness to things that I had been trying to do on my own, and it just kind of up-leveled, and I am incredibly, incredibly grateful for that. If you are interested in joining her next session of SOAR, it begins in April, and I will drop the information down below, as well as how to get the monthly focus. She also does a daily focus, which is completely free. You can get onto her website and check that out on a daily basis. I always listen to see what grandmother has to say about the energy, as well as my own daily card to see how it all kind of connects and validates each other, and it just amplifies the energies that are out there. So back to the story about the monthly focus. So in this monthly focus, it was really interesting because this one has felt like none of the others she's shared before. And like I said, I've been working with Lori for a very long time. It just had such significance and magic that felt like it appeared in the writing this month. It just felt so different and so powerful. And not that Lori's messages or grandmother's messages aren't powerful, but this one just felt so different. And in the message from grandmother, we all joined packs of coyotes. All the coyotes came out and shared. And coyotes are fiercely loyal to their families. And in this, we were able to join a pack, and some packs had one human and some packs had multiple humans. And of course, I'm giving you the short version of this. You should totally go and read it yourself. But they all joined these packs, and we were to live with them for a full moon cycle. And it spoke to how we were going to know each other and be able to speak to each other and all of those things. And there was just something so incredibly powerful. But one of the things they speak about in this is that with the coyotes upon birth, the cubs are their strengths are acknowledged and they're given a role within the pack. And that role and that strength is encouraged by what they've been honored with, what someone has seen in them. And this felt incredibly powerful. And the conversation on Monday we had also was this piece of like getting out of the box. And I felt like these went so hand in hand together. When we were doing an exercise tapping into this energy, I received some beautiful messages from Coyote Spirit. And one of these was about knowing our strength. And I think that's really important to get ourselves out of the box. So first and foremost, the box. We've all talked about it, right? There's all sorts of memes and quotes about stepping outside of the box, stepping out of your comfort zone, blah, blah, blah. But let's just talk about for a minute why boxes exist, because I think that's an interesting place to start. Once upon a time, there was a need to create more safety. And we've had this conversation before. Have more safety. And in so, we've created boxes to control the way that people are to behave or show up. So we had a conversation about this in Witch Wounds, and it's the same thing. The box was created for people to feel more safe. And that's not necessarily the people in the box. It is the creators or the makers of the boxes. And I totally honor them because, you know, being afraid is a really hard thing. And I understand why these boxes were created. And I'm not trying to poo-poo the box makers in any way, shape, or form. I'm just acknowledging the awareness around why they may exist. Often in history, there are control boxes, all sorts of things that appear because people are afraid. Whether that is one individual who is in power, or if that is many individuals coming together, a village, a community, or if that's just, you know, a collective in general. There is this piece where we have created these boxes, these scenarios to keep us safe. You know, it's our parents telling us little like white lies to get us to do the things that we want to do as a children. I did it with my kids too. One of my favorites, I know, a little off topic, was my first husband's mom, when he was little, told him that if he was lying, his tongue was black. So if she thought he was lying, even as an adult, she'd be like, show me your tongue. So we did that with my first one, and he just laughs about it now because he knows it's total farce. But, you know, silly things like that too. That is control. That is us saying, hey, I know what you're doing. Let me control this situation. We are really moving into this place where we are releasing control, where we are stepping outside of the box and we are being who we are full size. And I'm not saying that's an easy task to do because so many don't want to do it. But the energy right now is really pushing us to do that. The energy is forcing us to step out of the box. The energy is forcing us to stand up and be in full size and to be who we are. And what many might not realize is that's such a powerful thing. We have created an energy in a community that is allowing for that in a way that we have never allowed for it before. There is so much beauty in the world, in acceptance and equality and things like that. And yes, I know, other side of the coin, there's a lot of not as well, but there is so many things that are out in the public right now that once upon a time you didn't do, that it was not safe to do. And we've created safety around these things. And yes, again, I just have to honor the other side of that it's not always safe and there are a lot of people that still live in fear. I pray every day that changes. I do. So there's just this awareness of the boxes and why they are created. Please acknowledge the fear of others, and that is why they do the things they do. And that's why we see still, these people that are being persecuted, and that there is often this piece of fear that falls behind it. There is fear of losing who we are, losing our rights, losing our ability to be one thing or another. We really have this very big spider web of control and need and safety, and because everybody deserves and needs to feel safe. So again, I could go on for hours and hours and hours and open so many cans of worms regarding, safety, equality, and getting out of the box and that sort of stuff. But today, in this episode, we're acknowledging the box and why it's there, and often why it's created. I'm not saying that's exactly why it's there, but often why it's created is because someone is in fear and they're trying to control to keep things safe. Themselves, a community, a place, a thing. There you go. It's why rules exist. It's why warnings on, things we purchase exist. My husband and I always have a laugh because when you open something up and there's warnings in it, the warnings are there because somebody's done something stupid. And he owned a roofing company for years. So, when you open up that new nail gun, it's always interesting. All the warnings are in there and the awareness that somebody did that. Anyways, off topic. Let's go back to strength, because I thought this part about strength was really beautiful. Knowing our strength, knowing their place in their pack gives them safety. It says, this is who you are. This is what we see in you. This strength that we see in you is so beautiful and so powerful. Could you be this part of our pack that honors that strength in you? What? Could you imagine if we did that with our children, with our people? Even as an employer, could you imagine doing that? This is your strength, and I really want to honor that. Do you know how amazing that would feel for people? How incredible that would feel? Because we've never known this, we have to struggle to find our own way. There's really this awakening of understanding our strengths. And I always, with a lot of people that I work with, a lot of clients, I always like to talk about strengths and weaknesses. I used to look at my weaknesses as something that was bad, and now I look at them as a tool. I know where my weaknesses lie, and as long as I have tools to deal with that, I'm good. It's about creating, a safety net for the things that I know that I'm not good at. Right? But also knowing our strengths, we can play to those. So this is about stepping outside of the box. It is about understanding our strengths and understanding how those strengths empower us to be something different. The other part of the message that I received was really about the moon and the moon cycle, because we talk about that in Grandmother Speaks to spending a full moon cycle with the coyotes, and the coyotes also shared this piece of the illumination of the moon, that the moon is there to illuminate our truth and our strength, and for us to be able to see it more clearly, but also to honor the fact that the moon wanes and wans. There are moments of darkness, and in that darkness, maybe it's about going within, but maybe that darkness is just this awareness of, I don't always know the way. I don't always feel the strength in the way that I want to feel it. And that the darkness is just a phase. It's only a moment. But then the return to light again is this piece of illumination once again. Sometimes it illuminates the path for us to see which way it goes. Sometimes it illuminates something that we are missing to be able to see it. Sometimes that light is just to remind us how light we can be. Everything ebbs and flows. Everything wanes and wans. There will always be darkness and light in our lives. And it is about honoring the cycle. It is about offering up this awareness, this love, this gratitude for all of what exists. We can't always 100% of the time stand in our own power and our own strength in full size. There are moments where we are going to crumble or need to retreat to just refuel ourselves. But I loved these messages from the coyotes this month, and this awareness of how much is shifting and changing, and how we are being asked to be empowered by ourselves, by the strength that we have within ourselves. It is an incredible gift for us to be able to go within and really explore that, to see what that feels like for us, and how do we stand full size in that? What do we need to release and let go of? What do we need to embrace more of to move forward? How will you serve yourself better? By being braver, by stepping into your power. Bravery. I think that was the word that grandmother or someone in the group used, and I thought that was really beautiful. Being brave. So many of the incredible things that have happened in my life are because I was brave. That I chose not to step back or to step into fear, and instead step over it and step into myself, to step up. That is why I am here talking to you today. One day I just plugged in the podcast mic and said, I no longer am going to fear it. Instead, I will embrace it and do the thing that I really wanted to do. So let's see if there's anything you could take from the podcast today. One, honor you. Honor your strengths, honor your weaknesses, and honor the fact that, like the moon, there are moments of illumination and brightness and light, and there are moments of darkness and retreating and going within. And that life will continue to cycle and offer you so many gifts if you are just present for it. And two, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. I invite you to find bravery in your day-to-day, whether that is just something simple and small, or if it's like me, plugging in that podcast mic and stepping up to it to share your message. There are so many gifts to be had in this world. There's so many incredible energies that are stepping forward. And, part of that is just doing the soul work, the being present to get through it in a powerful way, to take lessons and to take wisdom, to be better, to feel better, to be happier, to feel lighter, to just be ourselves. Again, just a huge shout out to Lori Wilson. I am so incredibly grateful for her love and her wisdom and her guidance and her teachings, and for those that she shares through Grandmother, the spirit guide she channels. Over the years, they have lifted me up and given me such grace and power, and I'm just incredibly grateful. So much so, I am looking forward to April myself. I am doing a past life regression with Lori. Again, if you are interested in joining her next SOAR group, that starts in April. Like I said, that was an incredibly powerful journey for me, and it really just took me to an all new level of healing and growth and skill, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. That daily focus is free, so go check it out if you're interested in the monthly focus or anything else that Lori offers. She has a huge catalog of recorded workshops and speaking pieces, and then of course she still offers all sorts of incredible things as well. So I will drop that information below, but Lori Wilson of Inner Access 101, incredible teacher. So grateful for you. I love you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here and being a part of my spiritual journey. If you can drop a review down on the podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to my podcast. I appreciate that so much as well. Or, jump over to my socials. I do a weekly oracle card reading, daily cards. I share inspiration and stories there as well. I'm always so grateful, grateful, grateful. This week in person and kind of online, I do have Yoga Nidra. It is Friday, February 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join me on Zoom, or you can join me in person at Dundas Yoga and Fitness. I always do a Yoga Nidra the second Friday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is always available on Zoom and in person. I have in-person healing sessions this Friday night as well. It's a group healing, the Crystal Cave Healing Activation. And on Saturday, February 10th, a group mediumship reading happening in Dundas as well. If you look for more information, just drop down below to the website and you can get more information there. Thank you. From my heart and soul to yours. Until the next time. Bye now.